Hey KU fans, welcome back to Lubbock, Texas. United Supermarkets Arena rolls right off the tongue. I'm Matt Tate, this is Benton Smith. And Benton, we have officially covered the winningest team in a single season in Big 12 history in basketball.
17-1.
17-1.
One setback against Baylor back in January. KU hasn't lost since. Even beat an SEC team.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Good stuff. They win at 66-62 down here today over Texas Tech. I don't know, man. I mean, they've had some tough games this year. Baylor obviously twice, but this is as tough in terms of just start to finish, physical, intense. This is as tough as I can remember seeing all year, really.
Yeah, I just think the effort level you get out of a Chris Beard team, especially in a regular season finale on this court, I mean, I think that just makes it that much more difficult for KU to come in here and win, even though they're clearly a better team than Tech. I mean, I thought Tech put up a fight. The fans were into it. We weren't sure how it was going to be when we walked in here this morning, but I mean, they were legit into it. This was the best atmosphere I've been in. I haven't gone to all the road games that you have, but it's the best road atmosphere I've seen this season. And KU handled it because they're so confident in what they do defensively.
Right.
They just that stuff doesn't faze them. They just play through it. They get stops, and they know that no matter what happens, they're going to be in contention at the end of the night.
Yeah, Bill Self said it. I mean, defense travels. He even said, I didn't invent the adage, but I will say it. And they do. This team has brought its defense to every arena this season, and that's why they're 28-3. I know you wrote about that, but I think that's such a big part of it because when you have something like that you can rely on, then all you need is a little bit from the other areas, offense, transition, rebounding, those types of things. And they got that tonight. I mean, Ochai hit a big three late in the shot clock. Marcus Garrett with a huge drive down the lane in the last minute. Christian Brown right before that with the steal and the lay-in, right? You know, I mean, just Self said it, enough individual plays that when you pile that on top of that defense, it makes them really hard to beat. And they're definitely heading into this postseason, in my opinion, as the team to beat, not just in the Big 12, but in the country. What else stood out to you today? I thought it was interesting. Self said neither Dotson nor Udoka were that good today.
Yeah, neither was at their best, right? That's what he said.
Right.
I mean, they were both pretty good, but I mean, they didn't even. Nothing we saw was peak Devon Dotson or peak Udoka Azubuike.
That's probably a good way to put it.
And I mean, you still win this tough game on the road in spite of that. I'd give Ochai Agbaji a lot of credit for stepping up. I mean, you obviously always get your Marcus Garrett defense and just knowledge and like keeping everybody where they need to be. But Ochai missed some shots in the first half.
3 on one possession.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That was crazy. And I'm all about it, man. Good for him.
Yeah.
Because he really earned all 3 for himself. Crashing the glass to get another chance, And I'm sure he was down about it, but you didn't see it. No sulking, no crying. The guy's just tough, man. He's mentally tough, way mentally tougher than he was last year. And I think that's going to serve them well in the coming weeks. But I've interrupted you.
I was going to say, even though those shots weren't falling, he had that one transition trip down the floor where Devon Dotson was kind of like trying to make something happen and ends up taking a really tough contested layup over defenders. And Ochai was trailing, and he just follows it up and slams it in. I mean, that's an effort play. His effort never falls off, even if his shot's not falling. That's what you gotta like about how he plays.
Yeah, I think that pushed it from 5-7, the lead, and I think that was like the 5th or 6th crack that KU had at extending that lead. And I thought that was a big part of today. In the first half, late especially, they gained a little separation. That kept the crowd at bay. That kept Texas Tech on its heels. And it wasn't enough to run away and win easily, but it was enough to just maintain control. And I think that's going to be a real key for Kansas moving forward. If this team can get out and get that upper hand and play from a position of being the aggressor and controlling and dictating and things like that, they're going to be really hard to beat because they then get to play the way they want to play instead of having to scramble and play a different way to try to get back into a game or offset something. So that showed up here today in both halves, and I think that'll be a big key moving forward. KU wins it outright. They knew that middle of the second half.
Right?
Yeah. Self said he found out just after halftime during the second half's first TV timeout that West Virginia had knocked off Baylor. So at that point, KU could have not scored another point and still been the Big 12 champs outright. But at that point, I think, he mentioned it in an under 8 timeout late in the game. Christian Brown said that. He said he threw it in there late during a timeout. He said, but at that point, the game was close and we came to win. So that's what they wanted to do. Their mind is right. And I think that's, again, it comes to that mental toughness that we talked about with Ochai. These guys all have that right now, partly because of what they went through last year, I think. Marcus Garrett talked a little about that. He said him and Dotson and Ochai talked a lot about that in the offseason and all season about, look, we were terrible on the road last year. Let's go win them all this year. And they did that. 9-0 on the road in the Big 12. Average score in those games, 65-54 in favor of Kansas. 5 times they held teams in the 50s. Twice they held teams in the 40s. And the other 2 times they let a team score 61 and 62 today. That's it.
Yeah.
Villanova 56, Stanford 56. Right. I mean, this team has locked people down in their own buildings, and that does travel, and that puts you in a great position for March.
Yeah, well, Brown kind of mentioned it after the game, like when you have 3 guys like Devon Dotson, Marcus Garrett, and Udoka, I mean, they bring so many things to the floor, but when you have those 3 defenders, that just gives you so much confidence as a unit.
Right.
And everybody works so well together that they're just able to, be in the right spot in transition defense, make half-court stops when they know they have to have them. I mean, that's been this team's strength all year, and it's really impressive to watch.
KU wins at 66-62. They are your Big 12 champs once again. Counting shared titles, that's now 19 of the 24 men's basketball Big 12 titles that belong to Kansas. Obviously 15 of the last 16, and they now have a new streak going, 1 in a row. We'll see you guys in Kansas City next week. KU will be the 1 seed, and they will play Thursday afternoon around 1:30 p.m. against the 8-9 winner from Wednesday night. It is officially March Madness, and I couldn't be more excited. How about you?
I'm thrilled. I mean,
we
should probably mention, KU's probably going to be the number 1 overall seed.
Right.
So, I mean, that means you get to pick where you want to go.
Right.
And I mean, it also means you're the best team in the country heading into March Madness. That's where you want to be as a team.
You can't beat that. I think it's going to be Omaha, and I think it's going to be Houston. We'll find out soon, but it is going to be fun one way or the other. KU 28-3, 17-1 in Big 12 play, and 16 wins in a row. Those are just not numbers that everybody does every year. Those aren't numbers that this program has done really lately. So enjoy the ride, and we'll be there every step of the way, bringing you more stuff like KU Sports Extra, blogs, videos, stories, whatever you guys want. We got you covered at KUsports.com. For Benton Smith, I'm Matt Tate. Thanks for checking out this episode. We'll talk to you guys again real soon on another episode of KU Sports Extra.